and see us. It is with enthusiasm and humility that I accepted to take on the role of President for the Multidisciplinary Executive Council. Bonjour à tous et toutes, et merci d'avoir accepté notre invitation pour cette deuxième édition de l'Assemblée générale du Conseil multidisciplinaire du ODM. Mon nom est Jennifer Moutineau, et c'est avec enthousiasme et humilité que j'ai accepté le rôle de devenir présidente pour le comité exécutif du Conseil multidisciplinaire. I would just like to mention a few things before we begin. Don't forget to sign your name on the attendance sheet. S'il vous plaît, inscrire votre nom sur la feuille de présence, bien cocher et indiquer votre adresse courriel si vous souhaitez recevoir une attestation. Please sign your name and check off your name and enter your email address so we can send you an attestation. Also, as you might have seen on the intranet, we have a presenter today, Mrs. Malinsky. It was written that the presentation would start at 12:30. It would actually be starting at 1 because we had to do some adjustments. Nous vivons depuis 2 ans déjà de grands changements dans le réseau de la santé et des services sociaux. Dans ce contexte, je crois qu'il est particulièrement opportun que les professionnels y œuvrant puissent exprimer leurs opinions concernant la qualité des soins et des services qui sont prodigués. C'est dans cette optique que les membres du comité exécutif sont mobilisés à poursuivre et à répondre à votre rayonnement et à l'application de leur mandat. Le comité exécutif est également mobilisé à poursuivre les travaux sur des sujets cliniques qui ont été identifiés par vous, les membres. Le comité souhaite également aborder vos questions et vos préoccupations qui peuvent avoir un impact sur votre travail clinique. Finalement, ce nouveau comité exécutif souhaite vous soutenir afin d'assurer la qualité et l'amélioration de vos pratiques professionnelles. Mais pour y parvenir, nous avons besoin de vous. Our healthcare system has been undergoing many changes. As professionals who are working in the field, your opinions regarding the quality of care and services that are offered matter more than ever. The Executive Multidisciplinary Council is determined to pursue its mandate of working on clinical topics that have been identified by you, its members, to address your concerns that might have a clinical impact, and finally, to pursue its mandate of ensuring the quality of professional practice of its members as well as maintaining their competencies. Avec tout grand changement vient de l'opportunité. La définition de l'opportunité, une conséquence probable positive attribuable à un événement incertain. Nous avons eu dans ces 2 dernières années, malgré les défis, l'opportunité de former de nouvelles alliances afin d'assurer un service de qualité en permanence aux gens que l'on sert. Nous avons également eu l'opportunité de développer de nouvelles collaborations ainsi que des partenariats. Et finalement, nous avons aussi eu l'opportunité de partager nos connaissances et nos expertises. With change comes opportunity. The definition of opportunity is a favorable circumstance or occasion. And these past 2 years, there have been many challenges, but we have also had opportunities. We have had the opportunity to form new alliances and partnerships. We have also had the opportunity to share our knowledge and our expertise in order to provide better service and care. J'aimerais en conclusion remercier les membres du comité exécutif pour leurs implications dans les derniers mois et pour l'organisation de cette AGA. Leur dévouement envers vous, les membres du CM, ont permis que le Conseil multidisciplinaire puisse progresser dans différents dossiers. Merci également à Mme Malinsky pour la présentation qu'elle va nous offrir sur la pleine conscience. J'aimerais également remercier les professionnels qui ont accepté de présenter leurs ateliers tout le long de la semaine des professionnels, dont je vais vous parler plus tard. J'aimerais également remercier la pâtisserie Les Délices de la Fresnaye pour le gâteau Et finalement, merci à vous les membres d'être ici. Je sais que c'est pas facile pour tout le monde. Alors merci. Et j'aimerais aussi par la même occasion vous dire que, étant donné qu'on est une grande famille, je vous pose la question, est-ce que vous savez combien de membres le conseil multidisciplinaire est composé de combien de membres? Est-ce que quelqu'un veut essayer et me proposer un chiffre? Anybody? How many members do you think compose our multidisciplinary council with the creation of the West Island CIUS? 300? Est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un d'autre qui se propose?
On a 2300 à la Chine.
J'ai Martin à la Chine. Ah, ben là, c'est la personne qui connaît la réponse. Ça, c'est triché.
Non, c'est quelqu'un de l'Assemblée qui a donné la réponse.
Ah, OK. Alors oui, en effet, on est 2300 membres. We're 2,300 members. So we're a big family. So on that, I would like to welcome also the members that are on different sites. So we have the Douglas Institute. We have Hôpital Sainte-Anne. We have Batcha. We have CLSC, Dorval, La Salle, La Chine. We have the Lakeshore Hospital, and we have Lac Saint-Louis. So it's a lot of members, and it's 63 different titles that we represent. So it's a big mandate, and I can tell you that the executive committee is very humble, and they're very determined in their mandate. I would like to conclude by taking this opportunity to thank the members of the Executive Council for all their hard work over the last few months and for the organization of the Annual General Assembly. Their sense of responsibility towards all of you, its members, has allowed the MDC to progress within this major reform. Thank you to Mrs. Malinsky for her presentation and to Les Pâtisseries Lafresnaye for providing us with their cake. Thank you also to Anthony and for everybody who set up the room. Your multidisciplinary council can help you to have a voice in the face of change by offering you the opportunity to truly take your place and to get involved. As frontline workers, you are in an ideal position to advise us, the Multidisciplinary Council, of issues related to the organization that can have an impact on the quality of care and services. We invite you to communicate your concerns, or even to propose possible solutions, or even to get involved through peer committees by contacting us, and we now have an email that you can contact us directly. Thank you. On that, I propose that we open the General Assembly. So does anybody propose? I just need your name. Monique. Anybody second Monique? Thank you. Your name? Angela. Last name. L-Y. Thank you so much. So everybody has copies on the table of the agenda. We have the minutes from last year's AGA. So I ask you to take we'll now be looking at the agenda. As for confirmation of the quorum, we're going to go through each site. For St. Mary's, do we have an official number? 30. So I will now go on the different sites. Kenza Catherine at Douglas Hospital, how many members do we have?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
We're 8.
8. At St. Anne's Hospital, Shannon Catherine? 12. Thank you. Badshaw?
We're 6.
6. Thank you, Vanessa. CLSC Dorval Le Chine? 17. Merci, Martin. Lakeshore Hospital? Marianne?
20.
20. And Lac Saint-Louis, Caitlin?
We're 5.
5. So we have reached the quorum. Just so you know, we needed 3% of 2,300 to reach our quorum, which is 69. So thank you again for those who are present here today. I will now like to present to you le comité exécutif. On a Marianne Ferraiulo pour la direction programme jeunesse au CLSC Pierrefonds. Monique Bureau, de la direction DI, TSA, DP pour Quorum. Flora Massella, direction service multidisciplinaire pour St. Mary's. Martin Poirier, direction SAPA, ex-hôpital La Chine. Vanessa Colarusso, direction protection de la jeunesse BATCHA. Shannon Conway, pour SAPA à l'hôpital Sainte-Anne. Catherine Delorme, direction SAPA, hôpital Sainte-Anne. Hind Elhous, direction SAPA, pour Centre d'hébergement d'Orval et le Centre d'hébergement Nazaire-Piché. Nous avons Catherine Provost, direction service multidisciplinaire pour l'Institut Douglas. Caitlin Rollins, direction programme jeunesse, CLSC Pierrefonds. Et Kenza Sassi, pour la direction SAPA à l'ex-hôpital La Chine. Nous avons également les ex-officiaux, Madame Sophie Ouellette, qui est la directrice des services multidisciplinaires, et Madame Venise Caluso, qui est adjointe à la directrice qui est ici présente aujourd'hui pour le volet des pratiques professionnelles. Madame Sophie Ouellette, elle va nous rejoindre plus tard, elle est à l'hôpital Lakeshore. Alors, je vous demanderai de prendre l'ordre du jour pour aujourd'hui. Alors, comme vous pouvez voir, on a fait le mot de bienvenue, on a le quorum, on a présenté le comité exécutif. Point 2, on va faire la lecture et l'adoption du procès verbal de l'AGA de l'année dernière. Par la suite, nous allons avoir le mot de la directrice générale adjointe, Mme Marie-Claire Richer, ainsi qu'une période de questions. Point 4, lecture et adoption du rapport annuel 2016-2017. Point 5, on aura le plan d'action pour cette année. Au point 6, la première édition de la reconnaissance de la Semaine des professionnels. Et au point 7, on va avoir des élections. On a 3 postes à combler. Alors, ça va être au point 7. Au point numéro 8, nous allons avoir une présentation au comité de pairs. Au point numéro 9, nous allons avoir la conférence sur la pleine conscience par Mme Cecilia Melensky. Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Sur les autres sites, questions? Non, pas de réponse, pas de questions. Alors, est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour proposer et pour seconder l'adoption de l'ordre du jour? Ça peut être sur les sites aussi. Alors, j'ai Monique.
Jennifer, on a un proposeur ici à Lakeshore.
OK. Le nom?
Nadine Kapoor.
Merci, Nadine. Est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour seconder? Merci, Monique. Alors, on va penser à la lecture et l'adoption du procès verbal de l'AGA de l'année dernière. Écoutez, on ne va pas y aller point par point, on va quand même faire ça assez rapidement. Il y a eu le mot de la présidente, Mme Monique Laverdure, qui vient de parler. Nous avons ici la présentation des membres. Il y a eu la présentation du rapport annuel 2015-2016. Ensuite, nous avons eu un mot de Mme Lynn McVeigh, de la direction. Malheureusement, il n'y a pas eu de présentation de comité des pairs, mais on est heureux que cette année, il va y en avoir une. Et nous avons aussi également eu la présentation de Dr Camilo Zakia sur le stress face au changement et qui a été également mis sur l'intranet en visioconférence. Alors, est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour proposer et seconder le procès verbal? Oui, c'est préférable. C'est sûr que ça soit quelqu'un qui était là l'année dernière.
On a Dominique Dufort à la Chine. Allô?
Oui, merci Martin.
OK.
Est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour seconder?
We already did that with Nadine and Monique.
Bon. That was the l'ordre du jour. Okay, we have somebody. Okay, thank you. Alors, au point 3, Nous avons le mot de la directrice générale adjointe, Mme Marie-Claire Richer. We have a word from our Assistant Director General, Mrs. Marie-Claire Richer. Is she there? She's at Lakeshore. Can you hear us at Lakeshore? Oh, she's there. Okay. She was there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
OK, c'est bon. Est-ce que
Je vais vous...
les gens m'entendent?
On vous entend, Madame Richer. On vous voit pas, mais on vous entend.
OK, bon, c'est correct. J'aime autant mieux ça. J'aime pas ça me voir à l'écran. Donc, je suis vraiment heureuse d'être ici aujourd'hui. J'accepte avec plaisir cette invitation de venir vous rencontrer. Et on teste, là, ça proche d'être sur multiples sites avec une vidéoconférence. Donc, on va voir comment tout ça fonctionne. Ça facilite quand même, ça facilite les choses. Est-ce que je suis obligée de rester comme ça? Je peux me tourner dans la salle? Regardez. OK. Ils vont m'entendre quand même. J'imagine. OK. Là, je ne vais pas me faire face à la vision comme je vous parle. Donc, si on change l'acétate, donc j'imagine que l'acétate est changé par ici. OK. Donc, à la prochaine. Donc, je ne vous apprends rien. Le punch a été donné, mais c'est une grande richesse d'avoir parmi nous au sein de notre CIUS plus de 2300 professionnels qui se retrouvent dans des types d'emplois différents. C'est 63 types d'emplois. Donc, c'est très impressionnant. Je trouve que ça amène vraiment la richesse au sein de notre CIUS. Les liens qui nous unissent, c'est un slogan qu'on a utilisé cette année avec l'équipe des coms, puis on trouvait que les liens qui nous unissent, c'est vraiment, c'est très pertinent pour cette assemblée, pour le groupe que vous êtes. On a fait cette démarche-là au sein de notre CIUS et ça représente vraiment les représentants de chacun de nos groupes de professionnels et de nos employés on est tous unis à travailler vers la prestation de soins de qualité à nos usagers. Donc, on trouvait à la prochaine slide, que c'était vraiment une image des mots et des couleurs qui représentent notre organisation. Prochaine acétate. Ces liens-là, en fait, ça symbolise, entre autres, le fait qu'on veut faire équipe ensemble avec à nos différentes clientèles. Donc, c'est 63 types de professionnels qui composent vraiment l'esprit et l'équipe d'ADSM. Pour notre offre de service, que l'on veut toujours avoir une offre de service de qualité, l'approche humaine et le respect des personnes. Donc, c'est vraiment, ça rejoint les valeurs qu'on veut se donner au sein du CIUS, puis qu'on essaye de autant tout l'ensemble des employés, mais aussi la direction, la haute direction, de vivre ces valeurs-là au sein de notre CIUS. Donc, les autres, le travail aussi, les liens qui nous unissent, c'est aussi le travail d'équipe interdisciplinaire pour la collaboration. C'est une valeur importante pour notre organisation et c'est porteur vraiment d'exemples très concrets de travail que vous faites et qu'on fait tous ensemble. Puis ensemble, les professionnels du CM, ça nous permet de faire vivre le I dans le CIUS. Donc, c'est un point important, ce volet d'intégration, et on le fait à travers les liens qu'on a, aussi le travail d'équipe qu'on fait. Il y a certains progrès que j'aimerais partager avec vous, des progrès au sein de notre CIUS, que vous êtes tous, que vous contribuez tous, chacun de vous, à faire mieux, toujours mieux pour notre clientèle. Donc ça, c'est des exemples, je vais vous les lire. Donc, ici, on a vu qu'on a l'ouverture de 1 GMF de plus, donc qui peut desservir notre clientèle. Donc, c'est une augmentation par rapport à l'an passé. Le nombre d'heures en soins à domicile a aussi augmenté de 8 vis-à-vis l'année passée. Donc, on donne des soins à domicile chez cette clientèle qui a un grand besoin de recevoir ces soins-là. Le nombre de chirurgies en attente depuis près d'1 an a diminué de 46 %. C'est quand même impressionnant comme évolution pendant une année seulement. Le pourcentage de patients traités en chirurgie oncologique dans un délai de 28 jours aussi a augmenté de 28 %, donc on traite les patients plus rapidement. La durée moyenne d'attente pour une évaluation orientation en DPJ, où le délai d'attente a diminué de 8 % au cours de la dernière année. Et pour compléter une évaluation à la DPJ aussi, qui a diminué de 7 %. L'attente pour un premier service de DITSA, qui est cette clientèle qui attend, qui est aux prises avec la déficience intellectuelle du trouble du spectre de l'autisme, qui attend à recevoir des services. Donc, on a aussi diminué la liste d'attente de 26 %. Et le taux de recours à la main-d'œuvre indépendante, il y a aussi eu une diminution entre l'année passée et cette année. Donc, encore une fois, c'est des chiffres d'évolution de certaines données dans l'ETIUS dans lesquelles vous contribuez en tant que groupe. So there are also some progress that were done over the last year that you also contributed to. For example, Optidab transfer that was done over the last year. There's still some work to be done there, but that was a big change. The integration of GRF-GRM system, which was a big project that everybody had to work towards, and that is being completed. We're still doing some adjustment, but at least we are all having this system that is integrated. And there's also all the work done on the performance that was done over the last year, and the last 2 years actually, that brings us to a balanced budget. So that is also one of the achievements that we can say that we achieved over the last year. There have been over the last year as well some investment that the ministry has been giving and allocating for different populations. So for the vulnerable youth, there were some monies that were allocated. There's also a training program for troubled Aboriginal youth. Some monies for especially the TSA to reduce that délai d'attente pour une première visite. For long-term care, we've heard even lately in the paper for soins à domicile où il y a eu des investissements. So I'm talking both English and French now, but that's okay, I'm bilingual. For SAPA and santé mentale, pour les soins, les alternatives aux soins. Et pour le repatriement de lits de réadaptation aussi, un des nouveaux argents là, qui sont arrivés pour pouvoir faire ce travail-là. Donc, c'est très court comme présentation, mais ça donne vraiment quelques éléments là, de succès et je tiens vraiment à vous remercier de la part aussi du PDG, de la PDGA, Mme McVeigh, pour tout le travail que vous faites et c'est vraiment impressionnant de vous voir comme ça en nombre et en type de professionnels. C'est vraiment une richesse au sein de l'ETIUS. Donc, je pourrais passer à des questions si vous le désirez.
Question.
On pourrait commencer au Lakeshore. S'il y avait quelques questions, on peut prendre une question. Oui.
Vous avez parlé tantôt que les valeurs, l'approche humaine, les valeurs des personnes, des employés. Il y a eu un sondage récemment où est-ce que la vie psychologique des professionnels était les chiffres étaient très hauts. On est allé déjà à CA, une question, mais on n'a pas eu de réponse à savoir comment ça allait. Ce qu'on entend, c'est qu'il y a des coupures, les gens sont refusés, ils demandent des congés, de compassion, des congés, c'est tout refusé. J'ai misère à comprendre.
Ce que je pourrais mentionner, c'est qu'il y a eu un gros salon d'embauche cette fin de semaine, donc justement pour venir combler les vacances, les maladies, nos difficultés de remplacement. Donc ça, c'est une étape qu'on a franchie cette fin de semaine. On a plus de 200 personnes qu'on est en mesure d'embaucher. Plusieurs vont rentrer déjà ce lundi. Donc on est conscient qu'il y a cette problématique-là. On partait avec un projet de recherche HEC justement pour aller approfondir les enjeux liés aux grands changements qu'impose une fusion comme celle qu'on est en train de vivre. Donc oui, on est très conscient de cette situation-là. Jean, je ne sais pas si tu veux ajouter quelque chose.
Oui, certainement, il y a des actions concrètes qui vont se mettre en branle. Je pense que ce qui est important de dire, c'est que les équipes qui travaillent dans des secteurs particuliers peuvent avoir des enjeux particuliers. Donc, on est une grosse organisation, donc on veut donner les moyens d'aller voir vraiment, d'aller dans chacun des secteurs, puis de voir qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire concrètement comme action pour adresser ces questions-là. Ça demeure que les valeurs qui unissent les gens sont quand même ces valeurs-là. Hein. Ça ne vient pas en confrontation avec les valeurs qu'on représente. C'est vraiment de avoir le cœur de travailler tous les matins, d'arriver, puis de vouloir faire mieux. C'est ça notre mission et notre vision à tous les paliers de l'organisation. Donc, avec ce qu'on a comme contrainte, mais aussi avec ce qu'on peut faire pour aller chercher, par exemple, les données. Avoir un projet de recherche qui nous permet d'identifier ça, puis de dire, c'est pas juste des mots qu'on entend, on est en train de le regarder avec les yeux de chercheurs, qui nous permettent. Donc, ça l'amène, ça fait une étape de plus.
Jennifer, est-ce qu'on peut prendre une question?
Oui. Any questions here at St. Mary's? Anybody have questions? Now's the right time to ask your questions. Nobody? Once, twice? No? Okay. At Douglas Institute, l'Institut Douglas, do we have a question? Kenza Catherine? No questions. Hôpital Sainte-Anne, Shannon Catherine, question, questions?
No questions here.
Vanessa at Badshaw?
Yes, we have a question.
Oh, good.
Okay, so the question is, there was money given for youth projects within years. Where were the investments made regarding youth?
I'm going to tell you, it was given for vulnerable youth, and there are some specific money for les jeunes autochtones en difficulté. Donc, it's for the youth that are Aboriginal youth. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So that's what it is, and yeah.
Okay, CLSC Dorval-Lachine, questions, or Lac-Saint-Louis? No.
Une question.
Okay, so we have a question at Lac-Saint-Louis? Aucune question? Okay, thank you.
Jennifer, at Douglas, we have a question for you.
So at Douglas? Oh, good. Okay, question? Yeah, and then we have to move on. Question, Douglas? Il y avait une question?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So my question is about staff retention. You're mentioning that you're looking at, every sector has their own issues. But, there's things that are common to all of those issues. What elements are you looking at in terms, when you look at staff retention in each sector, to keep, to have that retention? What are the elements you're looking at?
You say you as a CS?
Yeah.
Or you're saying?
Well, you as, I guess your work is CS. So at the CS level, I mean, you're mentioning that you're going to do embauche and things like that. But I mean, when we look long term for this type of, we want to keep as much as our old employees, and have a good equilibrium between young ones and new ones, I guess. I mean, what are your elements to have retention, basically?
Well, that's a very large question. What we said before is that there has been an intervention done with a researcher from the HSC to do a specific questionnaire across the organization. So Sophie Ouellet talked about the recruitment of new personnel. When we talk about recruitment, we need to talk about retention. It goes together. So this needs to be looked at specifically within each of the sectors. work satisfaction, because that will retain people, it's one of the factors, has many different components. It needs to be looked at within each of these groups. So, do I have personally some ideas? Yes, for the people that work for me, for sure. Such as to be available to them, to keep my door open when they want to come and talk to me, to give them time to take care of their family when they need to do it. So that's what I do personally to address the issue of work satisfaction. So to be somebody that is available to them. So that's my view as an individual.
If I may add, as a multidisciplinary directorate, thank you. We have a team that have been grown this year. We have new PPR that will be working with us and with the Venise Caruso team that will be helping the development of the practice of the professionals in the CIUS. So now we have a team that is composed of 16 people to support you, and we hope that this will help the retention also, because we will have some help on the ground to work with all of you and to work with the professional for having some continuous formation, education, and also to have some supervision. So we are starting this new team. Some of them just arrived a few weeks ago, and they will join the services, and maybe this will help. Also, we want to work as a program for the new that will integrate the CIUS. So the first 2 years, we know that it's very important to integrate them very well in our services. So that team will be a plus added to the retention, we hope. So I think this is a very important gain that we have made. On a beaucoup parlé de coupures, de restrictions, de performance, mais parce que les différentes directions ont justement atteint un niveau de performance à la fin de l'année dernière, donc au mois de mars, on était en mesure d'embaucher 12 personnes pour l'équipe de service de la pratique professionnelle. Donc, on peut compter sur cette nouvelle équipe-là. C'est un investissement que le CIUS a pris la décision de faire pour supporter la pratique professionnelle dans vos équipes. Allez aider vos gestionnaires, allez aider vos équipes terrain. Donc, ces personnes-là ne sont pas encore toutes embauchées. On peut aller jusqu'à 12 personnes. Nous sommes en recrutement présentement. Donc, on a commencé à faire circuler le nom. On en a qui sont physio, ergo, travailleurs sociaux, psychoéducateurs, éducateurs, etc. On en a aussi pour les services diagnostiques qui vont venir en inhalothérapie. C'est certain qu'on ne peut pas avoir 63 types d'emplois différents, mais c'est quelque chose qui va se poursuivre dans la prochaine année. Donc, on pourra continuer via notre courriel, poser vos questions, apporter vos solutions, et on pourra faire une tournée des différentes directions que l'équipe de Venise a déjà commencé et amorcé pour faire connaître les services de cette équipe-là. Jennifer, on te lance le relais pour poursuivre parce qu'on a l'intention cette année de ne pas oublier aucun présentateur. Alors, merci.
Merci tout le monde. Merci pour vos questions. Oh, on va passer malheureusement, on doit passer, le temps avance, on doit passer au prochain point. Par contre, comme Mme Ouellette vient de dire, j'invite tout le monde, ce message que je vous lance, je vais vous remontrer le courriel, envoyez vos questions, vos inquiétudes, vos commentaires et vos solutions aussi, parce que c'est ensemble qu'il faut travailler. Alors, on va passer au point 4, qui est la lecture et adoption du rapport annuel. So, I'm going to read the annual report. I'm going to try to go a little bit faster because of the time restraints. So the salient points of the annual report. So just to come back to the mandate of the Multidisciplinary Council is to oversee the appreciation and improvement of the quality of professional practice and distribution of appropriate services offered to the group members with the view of assuring quality of service to users. Now with 2,300 members, you know, it's going to be a lot of work, but we can get there. So we had elections last November 2016, and there was 13 newly elected members. The executive committee positions were filled respecting the norms through representation of professional titles, informed by the rules and regulations established by the Multidisciplinary Council of the Health and Social Services Network. It was adopted by the Multidisciplinary Council on April 5th and also by the Board of Directors the following day. Now, what does this mean? This means that we want to have representation and equity across all sites. So we want to have a representative from different sites, different directorates, and different professions. That's very important to us. So since we were all elected, we've had 7 meetings. The achieved objectives, well, we participated on the Prescription and Protocol Committee that looks at the different protocols and prescriptions, be it individual or the different protocols in the hospitals. We also participated in the CEMUR OptiLab Committee. One of our priorities for this year was working on a communication plan with you, and that's going to be probably our priority for this year. We want to hear from you, but we want you to see us. So we're going to work on that and to see our visibility. We want you to see us, and we're going to work on seeing what's the best way, what's the most efficient way for you guys to communicate with us, for you guys to remember the Multidisciplinary Council is there. Oh, I can contact them. That we're here to support you. We also have, I'll come back to it, the first annual Professional Recognition Week that we had spoken about last year. So there was a survey that was sent to all of you members. I'm not sure if everybody got it because I know not everybody has computers, and that's something we're also going to work with, is trying to reach every member that doesn't have computers. That's one of our priorities also. So there was a survey that was sent out to ask you what themes you were interested in learning about during this Professional Recognition Week. So we're proud to say we worked on that. You probably saw we put posters. So the Professional Recognition Week is this week from Monday to Friday. There's conferences on different sites, and they're all going to be by video conference. And if you would like to see them, the link will be, you go to the Douglas Institute website, and there's a link that says videos. So you can access, because not on every site, some people have the access on certain sites. You can go directly to the Douglas Institute YouTube website, but not every site has that. So you can do it from your own home where you enter the address, or you can go on the Douglas Institute website and click on the videos where you have access to all the video conferences, be it for this week or any future activities that we're going to do. We also created the electronic mail accounts. Please take the 1 minute to write this email down. It's very important because this is going to be the best way for you to reach us. Don't hesitate to use it. We also created the activities onglet on the website where you can see everything that's going to be going on. We're going to be working on different activities this upcoming year, so you'll be able to see it on the intranet. So issued recommendations, we were consulted on different procedures and projects. One of them being regarding the services that are offered within the Health and Social Services Network of the West Island CIUS. We also were consulted on the violence and harassment policy. And we were also consulted on the internal regulation of the Board of the Regional Multidisciplinary Commission. So 2017-2018 perspectives. We have the upcoming ACMQ conference, which will be held in November. We also have the creation of supportive new peer committees, and that's where I think you can get involved and making a difference. We're also looking to develop activities to maximize the visibility and better understand the mandate of the Multidisciplinary Council. And also, we would like to create a committee that will focus on the development of maintaining, support, and promoting competencies of our members. So I can take maybe one question because of the time. Questions, questions, comments? Sur les sites? Oh, pardon, j'ai pas entendu. Question, Douglas?
Oui. Ma question, c'est quel est le but de la CIE, l'organisation des professionnels?
Bien, dans le fond, il y a un mandat écrit du CIM, puis il y a le mandat plus élargi. Le mandat plus élargi du CIM, dans le fond, c'est pour apporter un petit peu comme on parlait avant avec Mme Richer, la reconnaissance des employés, aussi dans la retention. Pour nous, c'est une forme de retention et d'appréciation professionnelle. C'est un petit peu de là que c'est vu la semaine de reconnaissance. Venise, if you'd like to add, ou Mme Ouellette, si vous aimeriez rajouter quelque chose à ça. Est-ce que ça répond à la question ou...
Oui et non, parce que j'ai de la misère à voir comment une semaine de vidéoconférence va nous aider à reconnaître le travail de 63 professionnels.
Mais je pense qu'il faut y aller one step at a time, des petits pas. Puis je pense qu'on est dans les débuts. Et je pense justement, si à chaque année, vous nous faites parvenir vos intérêts à travers le site qu'on vous laisse, c'est justement un moment pour que tous ces 63 types d'emplois différents, ces membres, justement, nous fassent parvenir un courriel. Pour exemple, vous, je ne sais pas quelle profession vous êtes, vous pourriez nous envoyer un courriel pour dire « J'aimerais, durant cette semaine-là, promouvoir la profession ou le titre de profession que je suis ». Mais on a besoin de vous pour y arriver. Madame Ouellette?
Ce courriel-là avait été envoyé quand on parlait de reconnaître la semaine des éducateurs au mois d'avril, puis on nous a dit que c'était préférable de faire cette semaine à la place.
Je ne sais pas, je ne ferais pas ça répondre.
Je pourrais peut-être mentionner, c'est que comme on débute, on a fait le choix avec l'exécutif du CM de démarrer avec une semaine de reconnaissance des professionnels, de commencer à introduire certaines conférences qui peuvent toucher tout le monde ou essayer de rejoindre le maximum de membres possible. On n'avait pas encore la capacité, puisqu'on débute avec ce nouvel exécutif, de faire une semaine de reconnaissance pour chacun des 63 titres d'emploi. Alors, ce que Jennifer mentionne, c'est que si on veut aller plus loin, on a besoin de l'implication des membres du CM, pas seulement de l'exécutif. On est ouvert à toutes vos suggestions. Si vous avez des idées pour faire la promotion des 63 titres d'emploi, on est bien ouvert. C'est une belle opportunité aujourd'hui qu'on a pour mettre ensemble nos idées. N'hésitez pas à nous écrire, on va prendre ça en considération et c'est une petite action à la fois. Donc là, je pense qu'aujourd'hui, on a mis de l'avant quelque chose de nouveau. On le laissait et on est très encouragé avec vos commentaires de pouvoir poursuivre à ajouter d'autres activités, pas seulement pour la reconnaissance, mais aussi pour soutenir votre développement professionnel. Donc, les conférences sont un peu dans la lignée de dire que le CM et la DSM, on est en partenariat pour soutenir votre développement professionnel. Alors, voilà, c'est une des orientations. Vous allez voir sous peu le travail d'un comité de pairs qui est aussi le mandat de notre CECM de soutenir les comités de pairs. C'est une autre façon de faire de la rétention, de promouvoir la qualité de la pratique. Et on a plein d'autres idées, mais pour ça, on a tous la responsabilité individuelle de s'impliquer. Alors, merci de votre commentaire.
Bien, merci beaucoup. Alors, on va passer au plan d'action. Ah oui, proposer, seconder. Oh oui, pardon. Est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour proposer et seconder? Merci Monique, c'est pour ça que tu es pour m'aider. Est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour proposer le rapport annuel, l'adoption du rapport annuel? Anybody? Quelqu'un?
We have Louise Lavoie, Lakeshore.
Merci Louise Lavoie, Lakeshore. Est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour seconder? Oh! Merci Angela Lim. Alors, on va passer au plan d'action. Vraiment, je vais vous donner les grandes lignes. Je suis sûre que vous avez hâte de voir la présentation, Mme Malinsky. Vous êtes impatient. Alors, je vais commencer avec les projets, les objectifs. Il y avait, comme aujourd'hui, l'Assemblée générale annuelle. C'était d'informer les membres des objectifs. Et aussi, plus tard, il va y avoir la présentation des pairs. Nous avons identifié aussi la création de comités de pairs. Dans le fond, l'objectif était que tous les membres du CECM puissent former des comités de pairs selon leurs besoins. Et c'est également de diffuser les résultats, comme on va voir aujourd'hui avec les psychoéducateurs. Au point 3, création du comité pour le maintien de la promotion et de la compétence des membres. Dans le fond, l'objectif était la création d'un comité qui fera des recommandations sur les besoins de formation et des mesures pour améliorer la qualité de la pratique professionnelle. Prochain point, c'était la formation. L'objectif étant d'assurer le développement de la pratique professionnelle, également assurer une vigile sur les différentes politiques concernant la formation continue. Nous avons la semaine de reconnaissance des professionnels dont on vient de parler. L'avant-dernier point, c'était le comité d'évaluation de l'impact de la réforme sur la pratique professionnelle des membres du CM. Dans le fond, était comme objectif justement d'évaluer l'impact que la réforme a sur nos membres. Et le dernier point, c'était communication avec les membres, maximiser notre visibilité à travers le CIUS et également de cibler et d'implanter les méthodes de communication les plus efficientes pour justement aller rejoindre tout le monde. Alors, est-ce que j'ai quelqu'un pour proposer et seconder, s'il vous plaît? Monique, est-ce qu'il y a une autre personne pour seconder sur les sites? Oh, Angela, eh? Angela Lynn. Lee. Thank you, Angela. OK. On va passer au point 7, les élections. Venise, would you like to come up and join me? Alors, comme je vous disais, il y a 3 places qui vont être disponibles au sein du comité exécutif. On doit procéder à des élections.
On a 3 défenses de l'exécutif cette année. Jennifer, Paz Caruso et Catherine Prévost. Alors, nous avons besoin de 3 personnes pour les remplacer. Est-ce qu'il y en a dans les différents sites qui seront intéressés? Si on a plus que 3 personnes, on doit voter à main levée.
Je suis intéressée à participer au conseil exécutif. Mon nom, c'est Monique Léverture des Centres Jeunesse Batcha.
Bonjour, Monique. Merci.
Au Douglas, on a une proposition.
Oui.
Je voudrais proposer Jerry Belloni.
Est-ce que Jerry Belloni accepte d'être nommé? Oui, OK. OK.
Vous voulez quelqu'un pour seconder?
Non, pour l'instant, c'est juste pour être sûr qu'on a les 3 personnes. Il manquerait une 3e personne.
J'ai une 3e.
Attends. Oh. OK. OK, Lakeshore, je pense qu'on va aller en vote. Vas-y.
Pour le DSM, c'est Sonia Cisternas.
Ah, OK. C'est la même à la chaîne, elle a 2 personnalités.
Elle va avoir une secondaire, un proposeur et une secondaire.
OK, elle accepte.
Tu acceptes, Sonia? Oui.
OK. Ici, à St. Mary's. Pardon? Angela Lee. Et? Oui. Alors, nous avons 5 candidats pour 3 postes. Alors, je vais vous laisser de peut-être dire à chacun pourquoi que vous voulez être représenté. Après ça, il faut voter par main levée. Monique Léverture, le premier Batcha.
J'ai été dans le comité exécutif pour les centres jeunesse Batcha pendant 3 ans et j'ai fait partie du comité transitoire exécutif aussi. J'avais pris un congé d'une année parce que je me marie et j'avais trop de trucs dans ma vie personnelle. Je vois le besoin d'être là pour nos membres. Je vois le besoin d'être là pour les centres jeunesse Batcha et pour la jeunesse, notre jeunesse qui est vulnérable. C'est ça, j'aimerais participer et aider. I would like to be there for Batcha and for our members and also for the services given to our youth. I have been in the executive committee at Batcha for 3 years and I have been in the executive committee transitory before this new one. So I have experience and I would really appreciate being part of it again.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alors, Jerry Belloni, s'il vous plaît, à l'Institut Douglas.
Vous m'entendez?
Oui.
Vous m'entendez?
Oui.
l'affaire, c'est beau sur papier, mais ce qu'il faut réellement, c'est la pratique. Quelqu'un qui va faire les pieds et les mains pour aller chercher des réponses. Donc, quelqu'un qui va faire des pieds et des mains.
Plus fort, s'il vous plaît. Plus fort, s'il vous plaît.
Ok, excusez-moi. Quelqu'un qui va faire des pieds et des mains pour avoir des réponses. Quelqu'un qui va faire des pieds et des mains pour vous écouter. Il faut aussi quelqu'un qui aime écouter. Puis les éducateurs, c'est ce qu'on fait. Oups, oh, sorry. Et, dernière chose, mais je vais ajouter de la couleur au CM. Ça manque un peu de couleur.
OK. Alors, merci. Je passe à Sonia Sistena sur Lakeshore.
Non, elle est à la Chine.
Non, elle est à la Chine. Deux personnalités, c'est vrai.
Bonjour. J'ai aussi de l'expérience au CECM de l'ancien CIT-67 OPI. J'ai été membre du CE pendant plus de 5 ans et à la fin, je finis mon mandat comme secrétaire. Mais j'ai aussi d'autres expériences ailleurs. J'ai travaillé au CE de la PTS à ODI avant. J'ai été impliquée dans plusieurs comités. Je suis membre du CA de l'Ordre des travailleurs sociaux. Donc, je pense que j'ai pas mal des contacts, des connaissances qui peuvent aider à promouvoir des pratiques professionnelles, pas juste dans les sociaux, mais c'est tous les employés et les membres CN. Alors, voilà.
OK. Angela? Et Laura?
Oui, bonjour. Moi, mon nom, c'est Angela Lee. Je travaille à la direction des affaires universitaires. En tant qu'expérience au sein de conseil d'administration, je suis impliquée présentement sur le CA du groupe Espace Santé qui offre des conférences sur les actualités politiques en santé ainsi que sur une résidence pour personnes âgées. Je pense que ce que je peux apporter d'intéressant au CIUS, c'est que j'ai travaillé et au Douglas et maintenant je suis aujourd'hui à St. Mary's. J'ai une maîtrise en administration des services de santé, j'ai une bonne compréhension du système, du contexte général dans lequel on vit. Alors, voilà, là, je passe presque en dernier, fait que j'ai ajouté que j'ai une bonne écoute également. Merci beaucoup.
Hi, my name is Laura. I have an interest in... Closer? I'm a dietitian at St. Mary's Hospital Center and also the coordinator for professional practice of the dietitians here. And I've been a member of several interdisciplinary committees, never on the multidisciplinary committee, although I do have an interest to better promote the services that we do. As part of my team, I've also organized the annual Nutrition Month activities where we share the practice with the whole hospital. And so I think that moving forwards, that would be an example of activities that could grow and be shared with the whole CIUS. I don't want to go into a lot of details over the committees I've been part of, but I've worked in different settings. I've been part of different committees, and I also have a master's in public health, so I do have an understanding of different health systems as well. So I have an interest.
OK, on va aller passer au vote. Alors, pour Monique Laverdure, pour Batcha, par site. Alors, Batcha.
We're six. Five voting.
Yep.
Venise?
Yes.
Moi, c'est Martin Lachine.
Oui.
Est-ce qu'on peut expliquer le processus de vote, s'il vous plaît?
C'est parce que comme on a plus de 3 personnes, il faut assurer avoir une vote. Sinon, on aurait pu avoir les 3 par acclamation. Est-ce que c'est... Oui?
Venez.
Oui.
Puis, alors moi, ce que je propose, là, c'est que les gens vont voter 3 fois. OK? Donc, on va calculer, par exemple, si vous avez choisi 3 personnes, vous allez lever vos mains 3 fois sur 5 personnes qu'on va nommer. Et les 3 personnes qui auront le plus de votes. Donc, on va passer chaque nom, puis vous décidez pour qui vous votez, mais vous devez lever votre main 3 fois, comme ça, on va tout faire d'un coup. Ça va? Donc, on va renommer les noms au fur et à mesure, avec les sites sur lesquels ils sont dédiés. Venise, tu vas les passer un par un, puis on va compter sur chaque site combien il récolte de votes.
Can I propose, excuse me, Marianne.
Yes, Maria.
I think because we're time constrained, if every person at the site can individually take the 3 names and we'll do a count after. If not, we will not have time for Madame Melinsky's presentation.
Okay.
Just give the 3 names, if we can have 5 names now, and we will take a count after what the votes are.
Okay, so the 5 names are Monique Laverdure, Jerry Belloni, Sonia Sistenes, Angela Lee et Laura Caffey. OK, on le fait à la fin. Merci.
Est-ce qu'on a lu les 5 noms ou t'as lu trop vite?
Angela, Jerry. Regardez juste les prénoms. Angela, Jerry, Laura.
Sonia et Monique. Sonia et Monique.
Jerry.
You want to say it
Angela. Laura.
Bon, OK, on va passer à travers. We're going to get through this. I'm going to pass now the word to the peer committee, to Émilie Giroir, who's at Lakeshore. Émilie? OK, fait que je vais te passer la parole.
Je vais essayer de faire ça rapidement vu qu'on... Alors bonjour, je me présente, Émilie Giroir, je suis psychoéducatrice et nouvellement applicaire à la direction des services multidisciplinaires. Donc moi je m'occupe des psychoéducateurs et éducateurs spécialisés pour le volet jeunesse et des PJ. Je suis ici aujourd'hui dans le fond afin de vous faire part du rapport final du comité de pairs en psychoéducation. Ah oui? OK. Alors, cette année, le comité de pairs incluait 4 psychoéducatrices et une stagiaire du C3S ODI, 4 psychoéducatrices du C3S DLL et M. James Prophet, ancien conseiller cadre de la DSM. On s'est jumelés tous ensemble afin de revoir les principaux formulaires cliniques utilisés dans le but d'harmoniser et d'uniformiser la tenue de dossier, les outils et les pratiques par le fait même. Il existait plusieurs versions de différents formulaires, donc il était nécessaire de les consulter, d'en créer ou d'en améliorer certains. On a créé et ou amélioré le formulaire d'évaluation psychoéducative, le formulaire d'évaluation psychoéducative sommaire, le formulaire de plan d'intervention et le formulaire de révision de plan d'intervention. On avait prévu 4 rencontres de 3 heures pour compléter les travaux, mais finalement, on a juste eu besoin de 3 rencontres parce qu'on était super efficace. Il est important de noter que tous les nouveaux formulaires ont été révisés et autorisés par Mme Catherine Delanus et la coordonnatrice aux affaires professionnelles de l'Ordre des psychoéducateurs et psychoéducatrices du Québec. On avait aussi également soumis tous les documents aux gestionnaires des programmes Jeunes en difficulté, DITSA, Santé mentale jeunesse et CAF, qui ont donné leur autorisation dans l'application des formulaires. On avait également soumis les documents aux archivistes, mais on est malheureusement encore en attente parce qu'il semblerait que le département des archives aurait créé un nouveau comité afin de revoir le protocole d'approbation de formulaire, donc ça a retardé tout le processus, donc on est encore en attente d'une approbation officielle. Alors voilà, on peut conclure que, mis à part l'autorisation finale des archives, nous avons atteint nos objectifs parce que, voilà, tout a été complété dans la démarche. Voilà.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, on va passer à la présentation. Désolée encore. Alors, j'aimerais vous présenter Madame Cecilia Malinsky. I'd like to present Mrs. Cecilia Malinsky, who accepted to present on mindfulness, pleine conscience. I already saw this presentation. It is very, very good. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah. That's it. Presentation. Yeah. And we'll go to the podium. And go to the beginning. That's okay. There we go. And podium. There we go. All right. Hi. I was asked to present myself, so it's a big question, actually. Who am I? Well, we're not going to answer that here, and I'm still working on figuring out who that is, but who I truly am and who we truly all are is a lot more than the labels. So some labels: nurse, psychotherapist, a colleague, a wife, a mother of 3, and a West Highland Terrier, by the way. He's one of my Zen masters, as well as my family. I also am a member of MINT, which is Motivational Interviewing Network of Trainers, which really incorporates the spirit of mindfulness into the therapeutic approach. Dialectical behavior therapy, motivational, or MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, are some therapeutic techniques that we use with our clients that are mindfulness-based. So the title of the presentation, and by the way, hello everybody, hello Lakeshore, Douglas, all the CLSCs, Badshaw, St. Mary's. It's really a pleasure to be here. The title is for clients and for professionals, and on that order. And I don't think, we don't have time to go through the whole presentation, and that's okay. That's a mindfulness attitude of acceptance what is, okay? So I don't know how, I'm going to try to do something in 5 minutes, and people have to go. I understand that I won't take it personally, but even if there's one person who's left that wants to listen to me, fantastic. I'm here to go through the presentation. So I put it for clients and professionals and not in that order, because I just wanted everyone to know that really in order to do mindfulness, you have to be mindful. And so as professionals, whether we're managers or clinicians, whomever we are, we have to first be here now and present and fully conscious. And I like in French, it's pleine conscience. So it's like being fully awake for what is here right now. So the focus today will really be just about having sort of an experience of what it is to be mindful as opposed to do mindful. We'll do a little bit of both, actually. All right. Objectives, well, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of an experience, talk about benefits, the difference between a little mindfulness skill practice versus mindful presence, and maybe some ideas of how to kind of like weave it into your work day and your after work day, because we don't all have the ability to spend maybe 40 minutes every day sitting and doing the practice. Mindfulness started from before the Buddha. It's been here a long time in terms of the meditation, and then many people from very different walks of life have sort of added to how to be, and we do know that there is an explosion. I don't know how many of you heard of it, but certainly mindfulness is a word you even hear. I hear it often in meetings, you know, like just be mindful of, etc., etc., or be mindful of the car. So it means to be aware. So the explosion you see is even in the media. You know, it's at Time magazine, and I like the title here, The Mindful Revolution, the science of finding focus in a stressed out multitasking culture. Sometimes we feel that in our jobs, and we feel that when there's change, and I just like what Jennifer said so much about how with change comes opportunity. Well, there's one thing that we really do know is that the only thing that doesn't change is the fact that there's always change. Everything, every moment is different than the moment before because we are different, our experiences are different. And the opportunity is not always something that we feel grateful for, but in the moment there is something to be grateful for in terms of where it might lead us in the future. And often through adversity, this is when people actually wake up to their life with an illness, whether it's a mental illness or a physical illness, with natural disasters, etc. This is often when we really have a look at what's truly important in our lives. Okay, so just to show that in the last 10 years, there's just been an explosion of publications. So I'm just going through this to say that, well, why be mindful? There are a lot of benefits, and the ones based on the evidence you can see are multifaceted for both physical and mental health, including eating disorders, anxiety, depression, hypertension, etc. So I am going to quickly now go and after this slide, and we're going to have an actual experience of mindfulness, because as I say, it's really not about words. It's kind of a non-cognitive kind of thing. It's not a philosophy, it's not a religion, it's not a set of skills. It's more than that. It is a non-cognitive experience. So what does it do for us? Basically, it's a way for us to suffer less and to be less stressed. It's a way for us to step back from our compulsive thinking. And you know, when you're like, you're driving to work, you're having an argument with someone in your car, and then you're at work and you don't even remember how you got there. So it's about that not operating from that automaticity and being really present. So and also when we can be present and we can step away from all those distractions of the mind, we can be more creative. There's more space within us to have good ideas just come up. They come up with ease. We don't have to strive and push and figure out. They're there. We already have so much wisdom that we just forget to access because our bodies and our minds are just running amok. So this is about stepping back and observing all of that and then responding as opposed to reacting. So the third one there in terms of the central nervous system, it's all about giving our endocrine system, our fight and flight system, our animal mind a break, and really kind of giving ourselves access to all our resources, which are so zapped so quickly with stress. So it will improve your relationships, attention span, and working memory. And so what is it? Let's just have an experience, because I know so many of you might need to go. So if you could just sit comfortably in your chair, however that is, but don't cross legs or anything, because you want good circulation. And if it's okay with you, you can close your eyes. It's quite helpful to close your eyes because you take out that visual sense that is so distracting to us. And if that's not okay with you, then you can just kind of open your eyes, just sort of resting them a little bit in front of you, not really seeing, just sort of blurring your vision. And then if you could try not to fidget and just come inward. Just notice what's going on. What is the weather inside like? And maybe you start noticing things like it's a hurricane in there, or maybe it's quite calm, or maybe there's a sense of pressure, or maybe you just notice your heart beating, or you notice your breathing, or you notice a pain in your joint in your large toe, or shoulder pain, neck pain, whatever it might be. Maybe it's hard to notice anything, but notice if talking comes up. And just try to let go of the talking and bring your attention back. And now let's focus the concentration on our breathing. We're using breathing as an anchor. So if we just go inward and just notice the in-breath and try and follow it all the way to the end of the in-breath. And then noticing there's a gap between the end of the in-breath and the beginning of the out-breath. Following the breath all the way out, wherever you can follow it best, whether it's at the nostrils, perhaps the chest, the ribs moving in and out, or the abdomen. And just, if you're having any trouble with this because the mind gets in there and starts talking about, you know, what's coming up next and maybe needing to leave or what are you having for dinner tonight, just notice that and let it kind of go to the background. And bring your attention, guide it gently, escort it firmly back to the breath. And if you're having trouble with this, even trying to catch the beginning of the in-breath or the out-breath. Noticing the waves of the breath. Notice if thinking comes up, sometimes it is about planning or memories, the past, the future. Just let it go. You can't stop the waves of thinking and emotion, but you can give them less attention, reinforce them less, and come again back to just this one intention, this one task, to just follow the breathing in and out. It's called a concentration practice. This is something that can make us feel calmer. It can also make us not feel calmer. Some people have panicky feelings. But it's all about accepting what is in this moment. And now, as we try to, we're going to expand our attention, still holding on to the breathing, but now adding the rest of the body, maybe noticing sensations in the torso, noticing pressure points where you're sitting, feet on the floor, tingling in fingers, maybe nothing at all. But now expanding, including the breathing, the whole inner body, and try to actually notice the surface of the body and the air surrounding you, just an inch away from your body. And before we open our eyes, I'd just like you to try to bring any of these feelings with you if you can. If there's a good, calm feeling, try to keep it going. And when we open our eyes, just notice the first thing that you see and really see it. So opening your eyes, just see it without words, wordless watching. And then just changing your attention to the whole room as you will. So, Dan Harris has a definition. I want to give you a few definitions. And there's a really great little video that you could see by Dan Harris if you go. It's called Happify. It talks a little bit more about this whole idea of getting away from the mind. And the definition is, mindfulness is the ability to know what is happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away with it. He was a man who was striving, working very, very hard. He wanted to be a news anchor with Barbara Walters and Dan Rather, and he had a panic attack on air and network news, and he thought, oh my goodness, my career's over. He went for some help, and he had been medicating to help him to achieve with cocaine and ecstasy, and he realized that he had to do something different. So he actually found mindfulness, and this helped him to regulate his emotion and to help him accept what is, including himself, so that he could do the best he could, and he did continue to do quite well. But so the name of his book is 10% Happier. So he's saying, you know, mindfulness isn't for everybody, and it's not gonna, you know, make your world full of unicorns and rainbows. Nonetheless, it could make a difference. Now, at this point, I understand some people might have to leave, so please feel free to do that. I'm going to continue. But I'll have a shorter version so we could have a few questions, because that's actually the fun part. So it really is about an uncluttered mind. And if you can imagine being present for your clients without thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to tell them? I don't know what to do here. Or they really need to do this. I have to call youth protection, whatever the case may be. If you can just be present with your client, you're going to have a lot more ease in your work life. You're just there for them, and they'll be able to feel that. And in motivational interviewing, we say that engagement, and there's research to show this, engagement is the biggest part of any relationship, whether you're a dietitian or a psychoeducator, etc. It's the engagement. And people feel when you are with them. Just know what it feels like when you go out to dinner with someone and they pull out their cell phone and they start texting. Okay? So, and in a way, you know, when our mind is going ahead, or even not there, present with the client, it's off somewhere else because we had a very difficult phone call prior to meeting with that client. They can sense it. That's why working with kids is so great, because they'll call you on it. And so will adolescents. Adults sometimes are a little more polite, but meanwhile they're thinking, this isn't working. So is your mind full of stuff? You know, all your worries and, you know, plans, etc., or are you really present, and are you just there walking with your friends, seeing the trees and smelling the fresh spring air? John Kabat-Zinn, he brought a lot of this and started the research on mindfulness, and I like his quote because it's a really sort of functional quote or definition. Mindfulness is a particular way of paying attention. So it's about paying attention. It's about awareness. It's about noticing on purpose. So there's an intention. So right now I'm just going to see what is here now. And anytime I'm distracted by things that are taking me to the future or the past, I let them go. Non-judgmentally. Non-judgmentally does not mean not judging others, but it can. And it doesn't mean just not judging the situation or yourself. It means not judging this moment right now as good or bad, because it just is. And no matter what, you have a flat tire, you might not like it, you might be late for a job interview, but you've got a flat tire. And until you accept that and change it or find a solution, nothing else is really going to move you forward to achieving your goals. And the last part, which is huge, without reactivity. And we're talking about that sort of in your head, animal mind, incredible emotion that just takes you away from what is really here right now. And that means taking you away from your actual life. So, started in '79, stress reduction program, mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, is what Kabat-Zinn started. And it helped people who were suffering. And it was for physical suffering, for physical pain. But there's a little difference between pain and suffering in terms of mindfulness. We consider suffering is what we add to the physical pain. Life is about aging, illness, and death. That's kind of cheery, eh? But you know what? We can make it a lot worse. Because when we notice the pain just as it is, we can handle it, usually. But if we add the suffering, even the smallest pain, sometimes we feel like we cannot handle. So, as I said, it's about responding with presence as opposed to reacting. So we have to go to the body and listen to the body, because often we're walking around sort of from like here up. But when we bring the body into it, it can really help us be totally present with the experience. And I'm not going to go too much into the stress response, but you know we have external stressors. You know, we have to go to a meeting. There's traffic in Montreal. We all know about that. And then there's the internal ones, and the internal ones are often our mind thinking about what this all means. And of course, we can have a physical pain as well. But when we can notice that, when we can be more aware, oops, I got a little pointer here. Oh, darn. When we can be more aware of the thoughts, the thinking, and the feeling, which of course you know are intertwined, and of course you know we're not mind and body, we're mind, body, thoughts, feelings, we're all of it. But when we can be aware of the thoughts and the feelings and what we see as a threat, and just the tension in your neck and wherever you hold your tension, in your throat, in your forehead, the back of your head. What's that? Your jaw clenching. When you can just say, hey, look at that. That's telling you something. So then we are more able to stand back and see the really big picture, the full context. And then emotion-focused strategies come up. Oh, what do I need to do? Well, actually what I need to do is just maybe breathe for 1 minute or a few seconds. Take one mindful breath. And then we have solutions to our problems. They just come up. Have you ever had that experience where you're trying to remember something and you just can't, and when you let go of trying so hard, it just comes up like a word? Seeing new options. So mindfulness, the great thing about it too is it really can just make everything so much easier. And so again, it's about finding this balance, this equilibrium, and it's really good for our endocrine system and our stress. How do we be mindful? Well, I did a little presentation. I directed you an exercise of mindfulness. So just to recap a little bit, I hope you heard some of this, but it's right now. And especially when we're feeling time pressured. Sometimes we can just try to let the idea of clock time go and just be right here now, even for a minute. I don't know how long that exercise was, but it probably wasn't very long. And maybe some of you had a sense of pause. Without the judgment, not judging the moment as good or bad. It just is. You don't want to fight reality, you won't win. Detach from unhelpful thoughts. I'm going to just, I'm going to show you a little slide in a minute just to show you exactly, or one way to do that. Forgive and be grateful. As Jennifer was saying, with change, there's opportunities. We can be grateful even for when things are difficult. Unconditional acceptance of others, ourselves, and now. It is what it is. Doesn't mean I like it, doesn't mean that I can't do something to change it. But sometimes you can't, and then you just have to accept. So know the difference. And learn with beginner's mind. So when you have a client, for instance, it's like you've seen them for the first time. Or you have someone you have a bit of a difficult relationship with. Just imagine you're meeting them for the first time. Are we not all different? Are we not different right now than we were when we got out of bed this morning? Hope so. My hair's combed. Okay. So, so your body is a key because your body's always present. I'm standing here right now. My mind might be elsewhere, but at least if I use my body to bring me right now, when I have this sense of dis-ease, when I listen to my body, I feel contraction, I feel that tightness, then I can say, oh, wait a second, something's going on here, I'm not balanced. And the more we practice like what we did there in our little practice, the more we do that, we just stop and we pause. If we do that many times during the day, then eventually we start noticing when we're not mindful, as opposed to doing mindfulness. So that's the key, is to practice enough in the way that works for you so that eventually you just notice, oh, this is not mindful. I have to get here now. And that's through the body, through the senses, through the seeing, through the hearing, through the smelling, the tasting, etc. So is your mind in the past? Well, past is history. Or is your mind in the future? It hasn't happened. It's imagination. And if you really check it out, it will, I don't want to say never because I don't like absolutes, but rarely does it really unfold the way you think it might. And can you handle right now? That's the question to ask you and to your clients as well. How are you doing right now? What's going on right now? Can you handle this? And yes. And often, aren't we calmer when there is an emergency? We just do what needs to be done. And so this goes back to the detaching unhelpful thoughts, an Escher diagram here, an Escher drawing. Just see what you see. What stands out first? So anybody, just a quick comment, was the first thing you saw? Sorry? Angels. Anyone see bats first? Okay, so you see our perceptions are different. Can you go back and forth? Can you now see the bats and then switch to the angels? And then can you go back to the bats and then switch to the angels again? So when we're detaching from unhelpful thoughts, it's kind of like that. You kind of let's just say the bats are the unhelpful thoughts, the thoughts that are really just not really helping you. And you know it, but you get stuck on them, right? Did I turn that oven off? I'm not too sure. Maybe I better go back and check. And then you just know you did, so you just need to let it go. So just think of those as the bats. Let them go to the background, and center stage, bring the angels. Okay? So that's what it is. It's never about stopping. You cannot push things away, and whenever you're trying to push things away or grasp for things that you don't want to change, you know you're not being mindful. Okay? So that's how you try and let things go to the background and bring your anchor center stage. And the anchor, for example, when we were doing that little bit of a concentration meditation, was the breath. So if you're just focusing on the breath, and if you try to do that for a minute or for 5 minutes or however long, you will not be able to hold your attention there. This is not about being the best at keeping your attention somewhere. This is really just about noticing when you're not there. And you just bring it back. So as soon as you notice and bring back your attention to what it is you decided to make your anchor, whether it's your breath, a candle flame, the clouds in the sky, sounds of the around you, the outside world. Whatever that anchor is, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be the breath, but breath is pretty cool because you're always breathing. It's always with you. You can do that anywhere, and you can learn to do it with your eyes wide open, like in a meeting, if you need to. So, how to be more mindful at work? Oh, just a few suggestions, for example. And again, this is sort of like a little concentration practice. You see, we have our laser pointer practice, and then we have our sort of floodlight practice, because there's more than just one way of meditating. And again, that's practice. It's like learning to shoot baskets. You don't know how to play basketball just because you're getting good at shooting baskets. It all takes practice, like driving a car, like playing a piano. This is not a quick fix, and it is simple, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of persistence, and it really teaches you to look at your mind and see how your mind keeps kind of sabotaging your attempts to have peace in your life. So use your senses. Wake up and smell the coffee. Actually smell the coffee. Like, if you're feeling kind of like frenetic or angry or sad, just take something that is pleasant smelling to you. Maybe you have hand cream. I have lavender hand cream. And just rub it in and smell it, and just be there with that scent. And also add the sensations, the tactile sense as you're rubbing it into your hands. Okay? Just listening. Just go and sit anywhere, just stop for a moment and just listen, and just receive what comes to your ears. And if you say, ooh, I don't like that sound, I don't like that sound, well, that's okay. Don't judge that, but just know you just went back into that non-present thinking, criticizing mind. That's not going to help you to be present. Be curious about activities you're already doing. So just walking, just taking steps. It's amazing, how we shift our balance. And maybe even just feeling your foot as it's touching the floor. So but make an intention. Decide what you're going to do and do it for 15 seconds. Just that will help to sort of center you. And slow down behaviors to become faster. Stop the multitasking. If you're writing a report, write a report. And set time just to write that report. If you're making a phone call, just do that phone call. Don't be writing on your computer here as you're talking on the phone over here. It will just make you feel less frenetic, and actually, we can't multitask. Our brain is just switching very, very quickly, and what happens? We lose track of something. Right? So slow down, we'll make it faster. And you already saw a picture of my dog. His name was Wesley. He's a Westie. And I just got back from Peru, which is an amazing place. Everybody should go. It's fantastic. So I just have this picture up here to say senses. So when you're in nature, just watch, just look, and really see. Don't just, say that's a tulip. Look at the tulip, or look at whatever it is, because it doesn't matter what you call it. You're going to see it as if it's for the first time. Examine the bark on a tree. Notice the bug on the ground. Smell the air. Mindful reminders. So when your phone rings, take one mindful breath and then answer, not just jump. That's a suggestion. You can think of many, many things. Walking to the photocopier, walking through a doorway, take a mindful breath or two. Practice gratitude. I heard a lot of that from Jennifer at the beginning. Thanking everybody several times. Be grateful for what we do have. Clear water. I'm grateful for that now after having incidents in Peru that were not so great. Accept what you can't change. Again, it does not mean that you are passive, that you just do nothing. Accept what you can change and change what you can, and realize that it will all pass, because everything is changing. Everything is becoming and going away. So Christina Feldman said that mindfulness is not difficult nor complex. It's remembering to do it that's the challenge. So even a little bit every day is helpful. So I've been, one last thing, why be mindful? To be awake for our lives. It's short, stay awake for it. I wanted to do a practice, I think this is about 3 minutes. It's a video, and what I'd really like you to do is just to try to let go and experience what you hear, what you see, what you feel. And no labeling, no words. And when the words come up, or when you see that you're trying to figure something out, if that's the case, whatever it may be, or you're drifting off somewhere, just really try to keep your attention with what's happening, if you want. Oh, I guess to do that. No, sorry. Technical difficulties. I've got it. Right. Where is it?
Should be, where is it? Oh, close it. Should be there. Just close these two.
Okay.
Close the other one.
Huh?
No, close it.
Okay.
It's supposed to be there.
It's supposed to be there.
Anthony? Oh, close it.
Close there?
With a liner.
Okay.
Close it. We're going to get there, guys. Close it.
Oh.
And you see, click on this one.
Ah.
It disappeared from the...
Oh, there it is. Okay. So, have to accept whatever happens. Here it is. So just using all your senses. So thank you. I would like to know what came up for you, though, with that video. Anybody have any thoughts arise? Wow, come on. You noticed the smile came across your face as you were watching it? Yeah. And did you have thoughts about that, or it just came up? Lovely. Yes. Yes, oh. It's interesting. Yeah, the music sort of captured your attention, and then you could let go into that. And I've heard other people say that initially when they see the video, they feel a little bit annoyed. My children, I try everything out on my well, they're in their 20s now. So interesting, right? And then you could let it go. Like you noticed the thought and you let it go, and then the smile came up and you were just with the music. Lovely. Any other comments? About the whole presentation too. Anybody over there? I don't know if they can see me.
On the other side, Lakeshore, Batra, Diana, any comments, questions?
Thank you very much from Batra. It was really appreciated. I think that we all need to take moments like that. Before, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it's all clear? And people think that they can maybe do a little of this, or maybe people who has some mindfulness practice already.